Everyone, my name is Damilola. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be teaching us how to cut this beautiful long gown showing on my screen right now. And if this sounds like something you're interested in, kindly please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Without further ado, let's dive right into the video. And I will be making use of just 4 yards of African prints showing on my screen right now. So the next thing I'm just going to go ahead and do now is to fold the African print in a fold of 2 first, and I'm just going to fold it in a fold of 2 again. That makes it a fold of 4, alright? So to get the length we are going to be using for the skirt parts, that is the length we are going to be using for the fold of 4, just go ahead and divide your hip measurement by 4, then add extra 7 inches to it. This extra 7 inches will serve as your zipper allowance line, your sewing allowance, and the excess is supposed to have. Alright, so that's what I'm doing right there. So after that, I'm just going to go ahead and double fold it in a fold of 2 again, so that will make it a fold of 4. Alright, so after that, after folding it in a fold of 4, just go ahead and properly lay it. And for the skirt part, we're going to be cutting the skirt part first. I have the main gown length to be 57 inches, the half length to be 16 inches. So that I'm just going to be minusing the half length minus the full length gown. Alright, that is 16 minus 57 inches. So sorry, that makes it 41 inches. So I'm just going to be measuring it like so. So from there, I'm going to measure 41 inches downward. So then I'm just going to go ahead and chalk down. So then I'm just going to divide my hip circumference by 4 to get, maybe I have exact measurements I'll be needing for my hip line, both for the sewing allowance. So my hip divided by 4 is 10.5. So then I went ahead to refold it to have enough of the hip circumference and even excess. So then I'm just going to go ahead and add extra 1 inch for my sewing allowance, because I'm going to be turning it out with my lining. So then I'm just going to go ahead and connect. So guys, if you have watched up to this point, kindly please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. So from there, the next thing to determine now is to determine our hip waist to hip line. But before then, go ahead and rule your border line, which is also known as our starting line. So my waist to my hip is 9 inches. So just go ahead and connect. And you can go ahead and use 8.5 inches depending on your client's length. All right, but my own client's length is from our waist to our hip is just 9 inches, and that's what I did right there, because I'm actually making this dress for a client. So then I'm just going to go ahead and divide my waist divided by 4. Then I'm going to chalk it right there, which is 9 inches. So then to chalk our waist measurements, remember we are cutting it in a fold of 4, and we are going to be taking all our measurements from the side towards me. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. That is the side towards me. So my hip divided by 4 is 10.5. Then I will connect all the way to that place using my curve ruler. And if you don't have a curve ruler, it's totally fine. You can go ahead and use your freehand method. So from there, to get our pencil skirts effect, we are going to be repeating the same process for our waistline to the hip line if you want to make it so pencil like that. But if you want it to be just slightly penciled, you can just go ahead and remove just 2 inches or 1.5 inches away from it. So guys, I know I'm owing you guys a video, like the sewing tutorial of the exaggerated A-line gown, and I promise you guys I'm going to make it last week, but I have a lot of work to do, and which is not my own self. So then I'm still going to be making it for you guys. So from the hip line, just come down by 4 inches, and that's what I marked here, and that's where my pencil sketch will stopped. All right, that's where my pencil sketch will stopped. So then I'm just going to go ahead and connect a straight line to that 4 inches. Just go ahead and connect it in a straight line to that 4 inches below your hip line. So then go ahead and cuff it to your hip line as you see me do. So just go ahead and cross check it and shaping it out. So guys, don't forget to subscribe, like and share, because it's allows YouTube push this video to the right audience. So the next thing to do now is to add our sewing allowance, and I'll be using a sewing allowance of 1.5 inches because that will be for my both the boat lining and the stitching allowance. All right, then I'll just go ahead and connect it to my hip line, the 1.5 inches to my hip line. Then I'm going to be stopping it, the sewing allowance, going to be stopping the sewing allowance from that 4 inches below my hip line, because the rest is a pencil gown. So I'm going to be stopping it there. But please, if you are using the measurements for your waist, like if you are using the measurements of your waist for the pencil skirt, it is advisable for you to add stitching allowance. But if you're actually minusing maybe just 1.5 inches or 2 inches, you can actually leave it like that. You cannot, like, if you wish you can add sewing allowance. If you don't wish, you cannot. If you don't wish, you can leave it like that. So I'm going to be making use of 1 inch for my zipper allowance, and that's what I did there. Then I'm going to be removing out my zipper bulge about half an inch. So that's what I did right there. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut that. So I will be advising, I will urge you to pay full attention to where I'll be cutting out. So guys, please, I'm still repeating this. Please subscribe to my channel, like, give it a thumbs up, share and comment, so that this video will locate the right audience. So guys, that would be for our skirt part, that is our skirt cutting. So guys, that's our skirt part. So the next thing to do now is to draft out our half length. We can totally draft it on our fabric. We can use the freehand method. I'm going to be using pattern drafting because it's a queen and neckline we are going to be using. And we have different kinds of queen and neckline. You have two methods of cutting it. We can use preset that method, and we can use normal method, that is cutting separately. So then I'm gonna head to mark out the some important lines we used to you need, that is our chest line, bust point, under bust and waistline. Then I'm gonna head to mark my back measurements, that is my shoulder measurements. Then I'm going to come down by 6.5 inches. That is the length at which I want my sweetheart neckline to start. So if you want your own to show more cleavage, you can make use of 7 inches, and if you want it to be a little bit covered, you can use 6.5 inches. So then I just went ahead to mark my nipple to nipple measurement right there. Then I'm going to connect up the way to my bust points and my waistline. So I'm going to be taking my dart intake from only just one side, and the one side will be towards the armhole line. But if you wish, you can use 1 inch, like you can divide it to 1 inch by 1 inch, all right? You can divide it like so. So if you want to do it like so, you can divide it, but I'm not using that method. I want to use it just one side. So I'm just going to measure the 2 inches on one side, and the side is towards the armhole point. All right, just watch me the way I'm doing. So then from the bust point, I'm going to come down by 0.75 inches. Then I'm going to connect the curve. The essence of this curve, it allows your boobs to sit very perfectly on your posterior. So I'm going to be using a neck width of 3 inches, and I've marked it. Then I'm going to come down by 0.75 for my shoulder slope, and that's what I'm going to do right there. So then I'm going to find the midpoint of the remaining lines like so. So after finding the midpoint, I'm going to come out by half of an inch out. I'm going to come out by half of an inch. Then I'm going to go ahead and connect to it. So after connecting, go ahead and divide your bust point by 4. So after that, after dividing it by 4, mark it. So divide your waist divided by 4 as well. Then add extra 2 inches for the dart intake. Then go ahead and connect. So before you connect, go ahead and connect your princess dart bustier to your armhole line. Just watch me the way I'm doing. It's very detailed and it is understandable. So just go ahead and do the proper measurements, the normal thing we used to do for our princess dart bustier. So I have a lot of tutorial on that. You can go ahead and check it out. So remember, we are going to be replacing the 1 inch for the shorter parts. So the essence of that is it allows your fabric to be enough when you are sewing it. Yeah, it allows the fabric to be enough when you are sewing it. So for the queen and neckline, I told us that we should come out by 6.5 inches. Then the width from that 6.5 inches, I'm going to be making use of 4 inches. So then I'm going to connect it to my neckline. Go ahead and roll the straight line and place your cuff ruler like so. Then connect. So if you have your French curve, it will be totally fine because it will make it more curved like than this. It will make it more curved. And if you can use a free hand, go ahead and use it. Then I went ahead to cross check my normal basic measurement. So now the next thing to do now is to connect from the bust point to the waistline. So sorry guys, I'm trying to locate the point that is going to connect both the waistline and the bust point together, and that's it. So I'm not that satisfied with the curve, so I went ahead to use the normal straight points. So guys, next thing we are going to go ahead and do now is to cut. And I just went ahead to look at the camera, whether the camera is capturing everything. So sorry for that. And remember, it's not straight, that the princess that is not straight. So I'm going to be coming down from that one, from that 6.5 inches. I'm going to be coming down just by 1.5 inches, and you can come down by 1 inches depending on your preference. So I'm going to be using just 1.5 inches. So then I'm just going to go ahead and curve it. Just go ahead and place your curve ruler the way I did. So sorry for that. I'm trying to locate um how I'm going to curve it. Like I'm trying to locate the way I'm going to curve it. So that's it right there. Then I'm going to extend the short dart leg to the our new armhole. So now the next thing to do now is to cut out. So guys, pay very close attention to where I'll be cutting out. So guys, that will be all for the front half length. Can you see the beauty of the queener neckline? And that is the two side. So guys, remember we are going to be taking the side I side that for the front half length. Remember, our back half length and our front half length is not equal. So to make it equal on that side effect of our front, we are going to be using a side dart. I'm going to be using a side dart of just 1.5 inches. Just 1.5 inches, because my client back measurement is 15.5 and the waist is 16.5. So I later changed my mind and I used just 1.1 inch. So that's it. So then I'm just going to go ahead and use my pins. So to get to side dart, just go ahead and minus your front and your back half length. So the remaining, you will use it for your side dart. It's not compulsory you use my own, because we are different, like the measurements we are working with is different. So that is it right there. So guys, that will be all for the front part. And I'm gonna head to take my side dart, and that's it right there. So that's the front part. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cut out the back, like to draft out the back measurements, the back bodice rather. So this is the back bodice right there, and I'm gonna have to measure the proper measurement we're going to be needing: my armhole, my chest line, and then my waistline. So guys, I'll be using 3 inches by 1 inches for my 1.5 inch for my neck depth, and that's what I did right there. I'm just going to go ahead and connect it in a curve manner. Then I'm going to roll my shoulder slope as well. And my shoulder slope is about 0.75. Going to connect it all the way to the neckline. So from there, take your proper measurement of your bust point. Then you are going to connect it to your armhole. And remember, we are going to be finding the midpoints. Then we are going to connect it. And for the waistline, we are not going to be using any dart for this part, for the back. And remember, I did not took any dart allowance for the skirt as well, so I'm not going to be using any dart for the back. So I'm just going to be making use of my zipper allowance and my body measurements. And remember, I'm not adding any zipper allowance to this pattern drafting for the back. I'm going to be adding it on my fabric. So the next thing, I'm just going to go ahead and connect my bust points and my half length together. So the next thing I'm just going to go ahead and do now is to cut out. So guys, this is after the cutting now. So guys, I went ahead to cut it out on my fabric, and that's it. And remember, the sleeve part will be for another tutorial. So guys, I'm going to be showing us how to cut that sleeve part. I went ahead to add my sewing allowance as well. So guys, if this sounds helpful, so kindly please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, share, and comment. So I'm going to be saying goodbye from here. Bye. See you guys in my next video. I love you all.